Supply is actually inversely proportional to price, because people get more convinced that they want to hodl forever as the price rises, and they don't panic. So if the price goes back to 50 or 60, I think there'll be less free float, not more. I don't think there's a lot of people out there that are going to be selling. I think what you see with the daily selling is just the same people buying and selling over and over.
In a recent conversation with crypto influencer Lark Davis, Yusko expressed his perspective that the crypto spring commenced on June 15th, marking 1 year since he perceives the conclusion of the crypto winter. Yusko anticipates that when Bitcoin reclaims its historical peak, there won't be an extended queue of individuals eager to sell. He envisions a considerably reduced free float and diminished selling pressure on Bitcoin upon achieving the $50,000 to $60,000 bracket. Bitcoin got a huge bump in mid-June after BlackRock and several other exchange-traded fund issuers applied to launch the first Bitcoin ETFs. But since then, the oldest crypto has been stuck in a range, drifting some 3.9% lower to $29,300 in the past month. Following a wave of spot Bitcoin ETF filings and revisions, the Securities and Exchange Commission now finds itself with several applications awaiting review. As per analysts' assessments, the probability of the introduction of a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund in the United States has experienced a significant increase, reaching 65%. With the market looking for bullish catalysts, Yusko says that a Bitcoin ETF will be hugely positive for Bitcoin and the overall crypto space. Yusko points out that BlackRock, the biggest asset manager in the world, has virtually a 100% success rate of getting ETFs approved and will likely continue its streak with its Bitcoin application. Here are a few glimpses from the discussion that we'd like to show you. Before we proceed, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for more updates.
Bitcoin is better money, and it's replacing the only money that's ever existed in the history of our world, right? Which is gold. Bitcoin replaces that base layer of money, but it's in every central bank. It's at the base layer of all fiat on top of it. That's a good asset. And that asset is more and more valuable because we don't price it in Bitcoin. We price it in fiat. If you think about where we are today, right? We are at this point where it's not shocking that, I said a few months ago that, a year ago, I said that crypto winter ended on June 15th, 2021. And everybody said, oh, but you were wrong. Look about what happened with FTX. I said, yeah, I missed Hurricane Sam, and I didn't know that he was a fraud and all that good stuff. And so, yeah, we had a lower low around the unwinding of the fraud. But from a supply and demand and a transactional perspective, I'll still stay crypto winter ended June 15th. Crypto spring ended June 15th this year. Now, it is a coincidence, total coincidence, that the day of the announcement of the BlackRock ETF was that same day. And that is literally the day of the last low, right? We had recovered from 15 to 30 something, and then we crashed back down. And that day, the 15th, we've been straight up since. And it's not a surprise, because your question, is this a good thing or a bad thing? Of course it's a good thing, because it will be approved. BlackRock is 475 and 1. They've made 476 applications for ETFs. They've had 475 approved. This one's going to get approved.
John Burbank, a renowned and legendary hedge fund manager, said price is liar. It is all the information that exists in the market, it's just what people think. In the same concept, Yusko stated that the price of Bitcoin doesn't truly mirror its value. Instead, it symbolizes the value inherent in the Bitcoin network. Prominent Bitcoin advocate Tim Draper foresees its ascension beyond fiat on account of its superiority over the dollar and other currencies. He said unlike national currencies under the control of banks or governments, Bitcoin's network relies on the security of hundreds of thousands of nodes. Yusko stated that Bitcoin serves as the foundational layer for all fiat currencies. Bitcoin may decline somewhat, but demand from buyers is expected to increase after the rate hike. The price is expected to adjust from $31,800 to $28,000 and then potentially exceed $40,000 by the end of the year. Yusko's analysis shows that despite talks of policy tightening and interest rates, a review of their balance sheet uncovers an upward trajectory, resulting in Bitcoin's value surging by nearly 100% this year.
I steal this line from John Burbank, famous legendary hedge fund manager and friend of mine, is price is a liar. The price of Bitcoin is not the value of Bitcoin. The value of the Bitcoin network, which is the largest, most secure computing network in the history of mankind. And look, I'm prone to hyperbole, but that's not hyperbole. It's 1,500 times more powerful than the CERN supercomputer, which is the next most powerful computer. And he says, well, what about quantum? Quantum won't be close to the power of the Bitcoin blockchain, the Bitcoin network. And that value of any network is definable, right? We can do a Metcalfe's law curve and we can define the value of Bitcoin. And back when I said that in 2000, I think it was 2017 or 18, I think it was 2018. What the point was that the fair value was 11, 12K. And if we fell to 8, and eventually we fell to 6, right? And then we fell to 3. So I was early, euphemism for wrong, but I didn't say buy it all at once. I said buy it at 8 and then buy more at 6. And then so Bitcoin from 2020, right? Bitcoin's like $10,000. And they doubled the money supply in the United States. This is crazy. This is crazy stuff. 247 years as a republic, right? We're a republic, not a democracy. We're a republic. So 247 years and a democratic republic, but we're a republic. And 244 of those years, we created half the money. And then in 2 years, we created the second half. So what should have Bitcoin done? It should have doubled. It kind of did that. And now it's gone up a little more because the Fed bailed out SVB and all these other things and increased the money supply again. It was like, oh, they're tightening. They tightened interest rates, but look what they did with their balance sheet. It's going back up again. And so it's not a surprise that Bitcoin's up almost 100% this year because the money supply is increasing. And that's all the price of Bitcoin is. It's a reflection of the quality of the currency in which you denominate it. So if you denominate it in yen or euro or dollars or bolivars, they go down, it goes up. Great.
Mark Yusko is of the opinion that the crypto spring has commenced, setting the stage for a substantial Bitcoin surge in the latter half of 2023. He asserts that the endorsement of a Bitcoin ETF in the U.S. could serve as a pivotal factor for this upswing, potentially propelling Bitcoin to a year-end target of $40,000. Yusko's evaluation rests on the growing inherent value of Bitcoin, even amidst recent price fluctuations. He contends that Bitcoin surpasses fiat currencies as a more advanced store of value, and its acknowledgement by institutions and enterprises is on a progressive rise. This concludes our discussion for today. If you found this content informative, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for the most up-to-date news and videos. We appreciate your input and look forward to hearing from you again soon.